Hi guys, John here, Common Sense Outdoors. So in the previous video I showed a cubby set with a platform trigger. 3 months ago I showed the platform trigger in detail. So if you don't understand the platform trigger, probably missed either or both of those 2 videos. The reason I wanted to show those 2 videos is to bring you to this point, is what I'm about to show you here. Because I believe this way of using the platform trigger should be at or near the top of your list for traps or snares to use in a survival situation. The reason this should be up towards the top of the list is your snare loop doesn't have to be size specific with this set. In other words, if I want to catch a squirrel, I need like a 3-inch snare loop to get his head through it, but not his body. If I want to catch a rabbit, I need a 4-inch loop to catch his head, but not have his body go through. So a lot of times if you're doing a trail set with a snare, you have to be size specific, to the animal that you're after. The problem with that comes in when you have it set for a rabbit and a squirrel gets halfway through it and gets hung up. Then you're catching your animal around the body, around the back hips. It's not dispatching that animal quickly. The animal's probably going to be alive when you get to it. It's going to tear the heck out of your snare wire, twist it all up. It won't be reusable. Whereas if you catch the size specific animal and get a neck catch, which is optimal, the animal's going to dispatch, and the wire, or the snare wire, pitcher wire, whatever you're using, is most likely not going to be twisted up to where you can't reuse it. You'll be able to straighten it back out and use it again if you get a good catch on your target animal. Now back to this set that I'm going to show you here in a second, is you don't have to have a specific size loop. So that makes this set capable of catching any size animal. And when I say any size animal, that depends a lot on your setup and what you have it set to. Could I catch a deer or a hog with this setup that I'm going to show you? Yes, if I have it size specific. If I'm using all 550 cord, I can hold an animal as long as that 550 cord will hold them. As long as my dead weight is heavy enough to cinch it tight around their leg. And this set is going to be, the only downfall of this set is you're going to get leg catches instead of head catches. So they're not going to be dispatched. This set shouldn't be set so far away from your camp or your location that you can't hear the rustle when it goes off. There'll be a racket, there'll be rustling or squealing, or depending on what kind of animal you catch, there'll be enough noise made to alert you. You need to have a way to dispatch that animal already ready, whether it's a long spear or whatever the case may be. Have your way of dispatching the animal once you get them in this set ready to go, and be listening for it to happen. So the main advantages are your snare loop doesn't have to be size specific. You can catch any size animal as long as your set is capable of catching a larger animal. And one of the most important things is it's a non-baited set. All you need to do is find a well-used trail. No bait required. Set it on a trail. Whatever animal comes down that trail, you'll have a shot at catching. Okay, with all that rambling being said, let me pan you down and we'll show you what we got here. Now this is very well used trail. Probably doesn't pick up very well in the camera, and the fact that it's been raining here for the last 2 days. But I've also followed the trail to a pinch point. Got a tree here, small tree here. Just happened to be that I have a madrone, and my battery's flashing already again. Just happens to be I have a perfect madrone. Have my line going up over a madrone branch with a log on it for a dead weight. Then all I've done is I've dug a square hole. I've dug a square hole here, about 3-4 inches deep. It's really all you need. This is the same start to our platform trigger, and I have it to where the top cross stick here is sticking above the ground, and the lower cross stick sits in a manner that when I put my other sticks across it, they will be pretty much flush with the ground. And when I put these on here, I just want to make sure they're fairly solid to the ground on the side closest to you. And just lay them all the way across. Because they're solid on solid ground on your side down here, anywhere you step on this platform, this is going to cause this stick on my side to push down. Same principle, everything's the same as the other platform triggers I've shown, except for we've dug a hole and we've got it down to the ground to where our platform trigger is now flush with the ground. Then all we have to do is take our loop, and like I said, you could use 550 cord. Just be ready to go dispatch your animal. I just left the same wire that I had on the last setup on here. If I can get my loop to lay down. Gotta play with the wire, get my loop to lay flat. Okay, and then I can take these leaves that I moved out of the way when I started. And again, guys, this piece over here was just a little bit left over I have on my line going up to my dead weight. I can take these leaves, and the whole time I want to remember where the end of these are. If I cover them up, I'm going to have to find it again. Just kind of cover it up. I could do this as good as I wanted to. I could even take some dirt, sprinkle in some dirt and cover up my sticks. I kept my pile of dirt from my hole right here next to it so that I can fill it back in when I'm done. And guys, if any of you practice this or do this on your own, do not leave it set, please. And make sure to fill the hole back in when you're done so nobody comes along behind you and sprains an ankle. Okay, so how do we make sure we get this animal, or whatever animal that comes down this trail, to step right here? You can kind of see my snare loop right here. Simple thing to do, and all we have to do is lay a stick across right here. So now we have the stick sticking out on this side, and we have a stick there. With exception of birds and squirrels, the majority of animals coming down this trail will step over this stick from either side. They'll see this nice flat spot to put their foot in the middle, and they'll step right there. Most animals will step over a stick. So I have a stick on each side, getting them to step over it, no matter which way they're coming from. Last thing I need to do, like I said, I picked a pretty good pinch point, is I just want to make sure that piece doesn't want to stick in there very well. Just want to make sure a little bit extra help to fence them in. Make sure they don't step off to one side or the other. just like that. Let me just check and make sure you guys can see everything we did there real well. Looks pretty good. We've just stuck in, and again I'm using a safety orange paracord so you guys can see. So that's basically the only thing you can see right now. Getting dark, so let's set this thing off, shall we? Let me just find a stick. That's a good one. Now, again, no bait required. Any animal that steps right here is going to get caught. And because I have a stick on each side, I'm telling them to step right here, and they will listen. Most animals, like I say, except for squirrels and birds, they're going to step over these sticks. So they come along, they step, they're caught. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed that. Like I said, I think this is a snare trap setup that should be near the top of the list for survival situation. I don't know if I mentioned, I did dig the hole with a shovel. Depending on how hard your ground is, you could probably do the same thing I did with a stick or a rock. The ground was actually pretty soft. Like I said, it's been raining here. But at any rate, I hope you like it. This is where my whole thoughts of showing you this platform trigger was leading to, because again, no bait. The snare loop doesn't have to be size specific. I can catch, if my setup is set to catch bigger animals, I can catch peg with this if I used all 550 cord and my dead weight was heavy enough to hold on to that leg. So it's very versatile, doesn't require bait, and it should be at the top of the list somewhere, in my opinion. So I hope you like it. Let me know what you think. Comment below. Like, comment, subscribe, and as always, we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.